I got a question in from one of our subscribers about the DGX-670's ability to play VSTs out from your computer and through the speakers. There are two ways you can do that. You can just get the output from your computer, just take a jack and find the aux in jack. The only thing is that will be transmitting audio and no MIDI signal. But the question is, can I play this, trigger my VSTs from here so that they play on here, right? So the MIDI going in and the output, the audio output reflecting in here. And the answer is you can. So take a listen. Now my VST is actually being played right now, as you can see. The only thing is you cannot hear it because I have the piano sound from here layered on top. So I'm going to show you how you can silence that sound and how you can also transmit the necessary MIDI. So behind here we have a USB cable. Again, I've shown this a few times on the channel. That's the cable that goes into the USB slot at the back here. Okay, so we're going to put that in here. Now that it's in, what we have is a couple of things going on. Potentially we have MIDI being transmitted. We also have audio coming out of there, but we're not really interested in the audio coming out. We also need to understand this is a conduit for audio going in as well. That's what we want to tap into, okay? So, coming over here, there are two things you want to get down to make sure this works. The first is in your outputs. For those of you who have done this a few times, changing from one output source to another, the playback device you want is line 2 portable grand. Not your computer, but line 2 portable grand. So that's the first step to get this to work. The second step is to go into your file option, whatever the DAW you're using, the Digital Audio Workstation that you're using. Click on Preferences, and over here we can see the playback device needs to be portable grand, not your computer. So that's the second thing. Okay, hit OK. The third thing you have to do to delineate from these sounds, like let me play from here. You can hear that. That's the actual VST. That's the Pianotech VST. And just for good measure, let me just show you here. If I click on a different effect, let's go for one of the Steinways. One of the Steinways. It's all coming out from there, you see. But if you want to be able to play it from here, you have to silence the DGX-670. Now, there are different ways you can silence the sound coming from the DGX so that it doesn't overlap with the VST sound. One way is as follows. Go to Mixer EQ and just lower the sound from there automatically. And then you have your VST without anything, because if this is up, you're going to hear the layering that you don't want. The second way you can do this is a little bit more drawn out. Go to Menu, then hit Enter to go into MIDI. When you're in MIDI and you select all parts right at the top, you got to hit the Edit button. So hit Edit. I believe it's the lower one. Hit Edit, and then it shows you the System MIDI page. So this is for off and this is for on. So it's actually 6. So if you hit the lower button for 6, you can see that main is no longer ticked. And that will deaden the sound of what is coming out of here. So you're only going to get this. As long as that is ticked, let's do that again. As long as main is ticked, you're always going to get a layered. Alright, so there are two ways to do that. You choose whichever one you want. For me, I just prefer going in to mix the EQ, and I just slow it down like that because I can turn it up real quick instead of going to menu and MIDI and all that stuff. It really depends on what you're doing with it. Okay, now for those who are still like, are you sure, Phil? Is that really is that really is that really the door? Yes, it is. That's the Steinway D jazz recording. But let's use the dyno. In that way, you'll know that it's truly coming out of here, because it sounds very much like what you have on here already. All right, here we go. That's it. That's all triggered from here. Just for good measure, I'll also show you that if I was to drag one of those loops, so let's close it. If I was to drag one of those loops, let's go to 60 BPM, and let's just drag it out. I'm going to drag this out here, and then I'm going to just play the loop, and then you can see that it's truly coming out of the keyboard. Hear that? And it's so clean, and you can control the volume from here. So if you wanted to perform using the sounds from here, but coming out of the speakers, because speakers are really, really good, they pack a punch. And there you have it, stereo sound coming in, clean and pristine, and then you can play on top of it. Like that. But again, I want my piano tech, so I'm going to select that and hear that? All coming from here. So again, two things happening. MIDI's being transmitted, hitting your VST, and you're able to control it, but at the same time, you're able to hear it. It is truly remarkable. These are some of the things my motif cannot do. This is $3,999 10 years ago, actually 13 years ago, 2010. I bought this thing 2010. This cannot do what this can do. It can't do it. Well, for a start, it ain't got speakers. How about that? It ain't got speakers. This does. It's crazy. Anyway, thanks for the question. I hope this shows you how you can do it. Just remember, you gotta lower the volume. Otherwise, this is what's gonna happen. If you don't lower the volume, watch this. This is what you want. But if you don't lower the volume and this is all the way up, then you're gonna have that unwanted. You're gonna have that unwanted layering effect. All right, I hope this helps you, and let me know if you succeeded. Bye for now.